Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tanya, and this is my cat, Cody. As soon as I turn on this camera, Ghost decides he's going to mess with my light. So today I'm going to react to a channel called Prayle, who I've reacted to one time before. He is a guy from the UK who moved from the UK to Australia, Western Australia to be more specific. And this video is called 8 Reasons Brits Are Fleeing the UK for Australia. And I've heard a little bit about a lot of people are, leaving the UK. They're not happy with things that are happening there right now. And that a lot of them are choosing to go places like Australia. And I'm very curious to see what his 8 reasons are for choosing Australia and why he left the UK. I would imagine everyone kind of has their own reasons for these things. We're all individuals, but I'm curious to see what his reasonings are. But yeah, let's go ahead and just get right on into it.
Good morning, everybody. So today we are diving into why a lot of Brits are packing their bags and heading down under. Let's go. Now, the first thing that's quite an obvious thing is the climate. The weather here is obviously better in most parts of Australia, but that's not to say that it's all just sunshine. There are parts of Australia that are quite cold and very rainy. Take Tasmania for it. I've
heard that like even up in Queensland is getting snow right now. And I wasn't even really aware that like Queensland could even get the amount of snow that they're getting right now, or they were getting this week. It looked like the pictures that I've seen, it's a lot of snow. So I thought that was more of like a Southern Australia sort of thing.
Example, we've got a very similar climate to the UK. In fact, they even get a bit of snow. Now, one of the biggest things that I found, one of the best reasons for moving to Australia, is the work-life balance. It's a different kind of work-life balance to the UK here. People tend to start really early and finish quite early, so you get to enjoy the rest of your day.
Aww.
So one of the reasons why people are moving to Australia are career prospects. Now, if you're in a job, a blue collar, some white collar jobs, you can earn almost double the amount you would earn in the UK. Such as
double. Wow. Double. That's really crazy.
Teachers, nurses, so on and so forth. And it's not just those kind of workers that can make a good living here. If you're willing to put in the work and sacrifice your time, you can earn fabulous money and fly out to the mines doing FIFO, fly in, fly out. And yeah, if you're up for it, then you can earn absolutely crazy money. Now, one of the things that you will find here that is brilliant is the healthcare service. Now, I know people rave about the NHS and how good it is back in the UK, but we all know in the UK that the NHS, as good as it is well overstretched, well under-resourced, and basically crumbling on its knees. Now, I take my hats off to anyone that works in the NHS. It's not an easy job, and yeah, I can see why a lot of nurses and doctors are moving to Australia, because you get paid what you're worth here.
I can definitely see that for people in the medical field, I don't know how different it is in other places, because I'm American, and doctors and surgeons and all that, they get paid well here. But also I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's not free. Nothing here is free. It's all very expensive to have any type of medical care here. So I think a lot of doctors are just very money driven. But if they're going to be able to go to a new country and do the same things that they're doing in their own country and get paid twice as much or however much more, I think that's a great thing.
Unfortunately, I've had to actually go to the doctors here and go to hospital and have a procedure. And yeah, you have to pay to go see your doctor. But you know what? I don't actually mind that, because it stops those people that aren't actually in need of treatment
From going.
or care, that just go there with the sniffles, from going there.
I agree with this totally, because there's nothing worse than going to see a doctor, especially like the ER, and there's like a really long wait, and you're at the ER because to you it's an emergency, and when there's a really long wait, especially at an emergency room, that's really, really frustrating. And for us Americans, like, well, I can't speak for everybody, but for myself, and people in my Discord can attest to this, I will do everything I can to avoid going to a doctor, taking an ambulance ride, going to the ER. I will avoid everything because the bills are too high. So if I do end up going to the ER for any reason, it is because I can't take it anymore and it's been too long. And that's ghost. And that is that's the truth for a lot of Americans. They will refuse medical care because they just can't afford it.
And wasting people's time. Now, I know you could argue that that's a good thing in the UK, that people go and get checked out for absolutely anything, but when somebody's got a serious illness and they have to wait 3 months before they can see a doctor,
yeah,
priority.
That's not good.
Now, the next one, if you are coming from the UK to Australia, then it's integration. It's something that obviously, being an English speaking country, that it makes it a lot easier for you to integrate. Now, don't get me wrong, it's got a big expat community as well, so that makes it a lot easier if that's what you're into. Me personally, I didn't move to Australia just to socialise with.
I imagine too that larger cities are going to have a much larger expat community also, kind of like, if you were to come to the States and you maybe want to be part of a lot of other cultures. A lot of people are going to go to Chicago in Illinois, and a lot of people will go to New York City in New York. A lot of people will go to very specific large cities because you have the larger communities and more people. And I'm not a city girl, but I can understand if you're going to a new place wanting to start out in a city, because you have more options. You can kind of integrate into the culture, maybe in a more, I don't know if a slower pace is the right way to put it, but like to your own comfort level. But I've never moved out of the country, so I can't really say. I'm just saying like what I imagine it would be like if I were to move out of the country. Most of you know, like I'm just not a city girl. I'm very much a country girl, very much a nature girl. And I don't like big cities. I like to visit them for a minute and leave again. But I can understand the pull of wanting to move to a large city if you're in a whole new country. I feel like, I don't know, something about it would feel more comfortable. I don't know if that makes sense.
British people, and that's no offence to my fellow Brits, but I would rather, have the best of both worlds, really. A few expat friends that I have here, but I also want to integrate and get on with the local Australians.
Yeah.
And it's also very easy to make friends with the Australians. Australian people seem to be really friendly in general.
They are.
I haven't come across one yet that's been a massive dick to me. Don't get me wrong. I know
only in the comments. That's right.
I'm not fond.
That's right, Truck It. Seriously, in the comments, I have absolutely had some rude people. But for the most part, Australians have been like some of the friendliest people I have ever spoken to ever. And I've had people from lots of different countries like comment on my videos, but some of the friendliest people I've ever come in contact with have been Australians, Kiwis and Indonesians are very, very kind. And those have been like the people that have been like kind of the nicest to me in my comments. British people and people from Europe don't seem to be at least very kind in my comments, you know, but I know that they are, you know, they can be very nice people. One of my best friends of all time is a British person, okay? I'm just saying, like, they are a little bit more standoffish. But I don't know. This guy here, too, doesn't seem like a typical Brit, you know? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he comes across as, and I don't know how long he's lived in Australia for, but he comes across as very friendly and welcoming and like kind of like Australian in a way, you know what I mean? He's not like your typical British person from what I have seen.
Bus bombs, but that's like anywhere you go in life. There's always going to be people that take issues with other people because of where they're from or whatever it may be. But it's so minute, it's so few and far between. Just get on with it. Now, one of my favourite things about Australia is the outdoor lifestyle. There's so much you can do outdoors here, and pretty much for most of the year, whether that be bushwalks, as some of you guys might have seen me do quite a lot recently because the weather's not been quite good enough for the beach. But most of the year you can go to this beach or that beach and
so pretty.
Go camping, go surfing, go snorkeling, hiking, whatever it may be. If you're an outdoorsy person, mountain biking.
I've never gone
There's
snorkeling.
something for everyone, basically. The outdoors life here is far superior, in my opinion, to what I could have done in the UK. Don't get me wrong, there are some great things in the UK in terms of outdoorsy places.
The UK does definitely have some very, very beautiful areas for sure. But I know what he's saying, like, because Australia and like the US, like these are much larger countries, so there's just more of everything. You know, there's more options as far as maybe state parks or national parks or, you know, mountains or beaches, or there's just more options for it. And like you said, the weather is usually nicer. Oh my God, this cat.
But weather depending, mate. Weather depending. Oh, housing and space. This is quite a controversial one because I get a lot of Australians in this country saying that it's too expensive to buy a house or get onto the property ladder, and the UK's better. I mean,
it probably depends on where you are. Like, I've heard that Sydney is like just one of the most awful places right now to even try to find housing at all, affordable or not affordable. Just housing in general, from what I've heard, in Sydney is really bad.
If you've been to the UK and you've experienced that and you think that that's true, then fair play to you. But I don't know where you're looking at houses, maybe in the slums somewhere in the UK. But in general, they're pretty much on par, house prices, when you do the conversion of the dollar to the pound. And of course, if you're going to go from, I don't know, somewhere like Sydney or Brisbane or Melbourne, like in the city, and you sell your house there and you want to go buy a house somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Nottingham, then yeah, you probably will think it's better for value for money moving to the UK. Look at that parrot. Just flew off, missed him. Yeah, probably will think it's better value for money, but I can assure you, being someone that lived right next to London and the house prices being absolutely ridiculous, the house prices here where I am rurally are pretty cheap. Now, one thing I have been told,
as far as pricing goes, like for America, it's also the same. Like, it depends on where, not only the state that you're moving to for house prices, and not only the city that you're moving to, but also it very much depends on the neighborhood that you're moving to, like the location of the neighborhood within the city. Like, our most expensive neighborhood in this town is expensive not only because they're very nice homes and the homes are kind of higher priced, but the location of the neighborhood is near multiple schools and also multiple golf courses. And so right away that raises the value of that neighborhood and everything about it so much more, like way higher than, like, there are houses in this town that are way more expensive than some of the houses in that neighborhood, but the area is what makes it expensive. But there are also houses in this like city that you can probably get for $500,000. And if you were to see that exact same house in, let's say, Chicago or California or, you know, somewhere else, it would be over $1 million, well over $1 million. So it really depends on like the area. But typically in the Midwest, our housing is much cheaper than other places in the US, typically.
That the retirement benefits here in Australia are a lot better than the UK. Now, don't take my word for that, because I haven't actually done my research on this one, but this is just what I keep hearing from expats and other people that live in Australia. So yeah, I'm not gonna go full on. I will have a look into that and see if that is true or not. And there's a website that I was gonna read an article on about it the other day, but kind of got distracted by the children. So yeah, I will do my research for you guys and have a look to see if that's true. So could be another positive, who knows. Right, now this is going to be a very controversial one. You either love it or hate it, and or you're indifferent. But for Australia, one of the best things is their immigration policies. Now, there's going to be people that are screaming, no, it's rubbish, they let too many people in, blah blah blah, and there's going to be people on the other side that will be screaming, yeah, it's great, so on and so
like
forth.
with anywhere.
But as a Brit, if you are looking to come over to Australia as a British citizen, then the opportunities that have opened up recently are definitely more beneficial to us than before. So yeah, for example, they put the working visa age limit up to 35, whereas it used to be 30. So that's something to look into. One thing I will say to people if they are looking at moving, because I had somebody ask me this the other day in a Facebook message, what's the best way to get over here as a truck driver? So this is very niche to my old audience, but if you are single, don't have family that you want to bring over with you, then just come over on a working holiday visa, get your license, go work for some people in Australia. You will make connections, and the chances are you probably will get sponsored, but you have to get here first. It's so hard to do it if you're not in the country. So guys, there we have it. Those are the reasons that some Brits are leaving the UK to come to Australia. Now, there are other reasons that I could go into that might get a little bit political, so I'll leave them off and I'll let you discuss them in the comments, which I'm sure some of you will. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you have liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and don't forget to follow me over on my socials on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Just yeah, search Truck It Prayle and you'll find me there. Thanks for watching. See you later.
That's so pretty. That looks like Florida right there. That was a really great list. A lot of those were things that I kind of assumed were gonna make the list. You know, like I heard that the NHS, like, people are not very happy with it right now. Some people, you know, will say, "Oh no, I love the NHS," and you know, everyone is valid. Everyone's feelings are valid. However you feel about whatever. I'm just saying, like, I have heard that. Whether it's going to be, you know, better, because in the UK, like, it's very mild, kind of even keel throughout the whole year. Like nothing is ever too extreme other than they just get too much rain or too much cloudiness or something. But they don't have like the extreme heat or extreme cold like say I have personally in Illinois. He also mentioned integration. I'm curious, like, is there a specific group of people that have an easier time integrating in Australia than other people? Like, would it be easier for British people to integrate than say Americans? Because I know a lot of people look at Americans and just they hate on us for kind of no reason at all. They maybe don't like our government, so they just kind of group all Americans in under this one thing that we're all America. And however they think about America, they just throw us all in with it. So if somebody who doesn't like America, they're gonna say, I hate Americans and I hate America and I hate everything about America. There's just people like that. And it's really crazy because it's like, well, would you think the same thing about all the North Korean people because of Kim Jong-un? Like, do you think that way about every country and its people? Not all Americans are the same. All Americans are all very different from each other, you know what I mean? So it makes me wonder, like, do British people have an easier time integrating with the people in Australia than Americans, or is it about the same, would you say? The only thing I can think of that would be the best option is like Kiwis, because I hear a lot of Kiwis move to Australia, and I've also heard a lot of Australians move to New Zealand too. But I would imagine they have the easier time, kind of like Canada and America have the easier time. But yeah, I'm curious about that. I'm kind of wondering. Anyway, but that was a really good video, and this is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. But I really enjoy his channel. Let me hit like on his video here. And I really wanna watch some more of his videos because I really like this guy. I think he's really cool. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and I'll see you next time.